Melbourne Quaddie Legs time. We're at Caulfield. Subscribers have seen our preview or have the ability to see our preview for races 1 to 6. Sorry, 1 to 5. And we're now up to race 6. Suggestion is that the track will be somewhat wet, that the wind may or may not be a factor. It's only going to be 10 degrees in Melbourne on Saturday. And we are up to the clash that I've most looked forward to once I saw the fields, the 3-year-old fillies race. Scenic Point, she was the headliner in terms of a provincial maiden winner of the autumn, and she duly won her Saturday 2-year-old race off that provincial maiden. She's $2.60 returning here up against Signature Scent, who's done similar things in her 2 runs, less of a break, only 35 days off for this one, $4. The map here suggests that the playwright will be a mover and shaker. She does have the blinkers off here, but certainly there'd be an intent to try and get her into the lead. Roy, what did you think would go with the playwright?
I was open to suggestions. Maybe Thanks Gorgeous, but that was it, really.
My Gladiola led first up last time, didn't it?
Yeah, it's got a very fast figure there, My Gladiola in the 1,000-metre race on debut, and then things went awry for the next 2 runs. But certainly it could easily spring the lids and be, part of the battle.
Yeah, not much pace at all, is there?
All right. So what does that mean? Is that meaningful in the context of this race?
Look, probably not necessarily for the 2 favourites. I've sort of got them sort of mapped fairly close together. Scenic Point's in barrier 2, and Signature Scent is in 7 or something, is it? Yeah, 7. I thought probably both of them would just sort of park maybe just behind the lead, or sort of maybe 3 lengths off the lead or something like that. So no real advantage map-wise between either favourite. I probably think, I'd say I probably leaned a Scenic Point over Signature Scent, just a little bit more impressive in its wins. Signature Scent did a good job at the provincials on a wet track at Bendigo, and then at Caulfield sort of had the perfect trail and was a little bit flat in its win, I guess you could say. So yeah, look, I mean, quiet race for me. Again, I don't like these sort of races where there's so many first up. Most of the field's first up. There's no doubt My Gladiola's done good things there against, some pretty handy 2-year-olds back there in the autumn. So you'd have to respect it, although it's got, probably a poor map here. And look, there's a couple of horses worth mentioning. This number 9, Custom, did a good job in the midweeks in Sydney, and it's 30 to 1. That's takeable. That's crazy.
She did show a very good turn of foot, didn't she?
Absolutely.
A surprising turn of foot.
So it's probably, probably run you a nice race at $31, but maybe something each way. But yeah, that seems crazy. And look, number 10, look, I probably couldn't back it necessarily to beat the 2 favourites, but it did start short in the midweeks, and that was a strong race at the hillside where it started, sort of a very short price favourite. And, it's not completely out of this race. I wouldn't have thought.
Well, I suppose it depends on where we're putting, obviously this is some sort of headline horse, this Scenic Point, where we're putting her in the pecking order of things, because I know there were a lot of ratings people very anxious to see what she did at start 2 after some sort of phenomenal figure posted in start 1. Kev, do you have a strong opinion about these fillies?
No, look, what worried me with Scenic Point was the barrier 2, because I've got this playwright coming across and leading, and I think My Gladiola will come and sit outside it. And I've sort of got the 2 favourites sitting in behind. One's drawn 2, one's drawn 7. And I can't imagine the playwright getting off the fence with Shin on it. He'd be probably hard up against the fence. So I was a little bit worried about the barrier for Scenic Point, thinking it might sit third on the fence behind the leaders. So just for that alone, I sort of had signature scent on top of it, only because I thought it might be one out, one back in trotting terms and get a good run. But I wouldn't be surprised to see one of the two leaders, the playwright and My Gladiola, um, kick and maybe kick on that bend to Caulfield and take a bit of running down. So at the moment, with them both around the $8-10 mark, I'd probably prefer to back those two than the two favourites.
All right, just back to you, Roy. Signature Scent looked to travel clumsily from the inside, I thought. Is it possible that she'll look a lot better from a wider draw?
Yeah, yeah, maybe. I mean, it did look at sort of a big, sort of strong type at Bendigo, didn't it? I guess I can see a point there. Um, Spacing its runs is interesting. 28 days now, 35 days. I suppose it's not, it's in the right stable, so you probably wouldn't want to be too cute with it. But it's an interesting sort of thing to note. But yeah, look at it only just got there the other day. So
Yeah, look, there are two schools of thought, aren't there? It's sort of, like it had to beat those, and gee, it was a
mhm.
struggle, or maybe, the inside draw didn't suit it. This race was won by drifting last year. It looks a better renewal this year. It's the fillies in this race seem worthy of keeping your eye on. The Arkansas Kid is back to defend his. Is this the Regal Roller? It is. So he's back to defend his title here. It's a very wide market. We've got 4 at 9-2. Arkansas Kid recommendation, Lose Some, Win More, and Royal Insignia. Fresh up Graham Begg, $6.50 Brudenell. So South of India is second from the outside. He's a sort of a high speed horse. Recommendation has been better since being ridden with some intent. Glint of Silver is first up, more of a sort of a 1400 metre leader, but be expected to be part of the fray. And Brudenell has the speed to contest. What are your thoughts, Roy, in terms of whether he does contest and what the map looks like?
Yeah, I think it's probably just recommendation in south of India. I mean, I see that south of India is drawn 9, so it might fire up a bit early. And recommendations in 6, so they probably look the 2 leaders. Yeah, Brudenell won't be far away, but it doesn't look it probably just looks a reasonable tempo, but without being, either slow or fast. I mean,
Yep, tradesman's.
yeah, look, I mean, they're sort of drawn out enough to sort of, get going a bit early, but, nothing crazy, I wouldn't have thought. Um,
Where do you reckon Arkansas Kid gets in the run? Is he going to be sort of just behind the lead, or do you think he'll get back?
I thought he'd probably just try and tuck in behind him, but he does have a
Yeah.
wide draw. He could get posted.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have been keener on him if he'd drawn a better barrier.
Yeah, he's got a few question marks there. Shin, he's got
Does
an
have, yeah, he's the master of Caulfield, so
yeah, yeah,
you could certainly let him make the decisions. Roy, what are you starting out with here in this wide open race?
yeah. Look, I went over this race many times and I found it very tricky. I mean, I think the horse that's definitely going the best is I understand it's all down the straight, but this lose some, win more is just absolutely flying. And you can't really knock its last win. I guess there will be knockers in the fact that people will just say, "Oh, it's all straight form," but it has one round, more for film, so it's not completely bound to the Flemington Straight. Um, but it's absolutely flying. I think the horse. Whether or not it gets enough tempos, it's going to be out the back. So I think I landed on it at the moment, but look, I'm open to anything here. I mean, there's not really, a horse that I could sort of stamp and say, well, just definitely want to be with it. Um, yeah, look, I guess you could say that Brudenell's probably the map horse. Just barrier 2, it's going well, gets the right run, but yeah, that's all I could really say at this stage.
Lose
It's
some, win some more, won't know. It's off 54 kilos, will it?
yeah,
Dropping
well,
down from
mate,
dropping back from 61 and 60. I know it's up in class.
if I had one more leader, I'd be probably really keen on it. Just one more leader to just sort of set it alight early here. The pace would be good, but I guess you can't have everything. But it has to be top pick for me.
And what about you, Kev? Where are you starting?
No knock at all on Loose on Winsome only because of the drop in weight, and I've sort of probably agreed with Roy's probably going to get the right run. I quite like Royal Insignia first up. I won first up last time. It's drawn barrier one, so it will take up a position and probably sit fourth or fifth on the inside. The big stable, as we know, is just absolutely flying. So I quite like it. I was willing to forgive its last run where it had just had enough. So I don't disagree with Lou some win some more because of the drop in weight, and I thought Royal Signia was the best of the rest.
Okay, Roy, any opinion of Pop Award, which obviously won a cheap 78 first up, but she tried her heart out.
Yep, yep.
Um,
I think that's all correct. It's just one of these horses that just keeps winning, just it's a line finder, but it's a bit stiffer opposition here, I would have thought.
Probably needs a riding change as well. Yeah, all right. Race 8 is the feature. So it's the PB Lawrence. It's the lead up to the Group 1 in a fortnight's time. Private Eye and Nash have made their way down from Sydney. It's favoured at $3.40. Evaporate, B Shin resuming is $3.90 in second pick. We've got Here to Shock from the Deep. No Nash here. It's D Stackhouse. Desert Lightning looks to kick up from 1. Is this a tactical race, Roy?
It is. It is. Obviously, here to shock's the noted leader from barrier 10, but that's it, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
they all
think,
like to run. There's a lot of run-on horses in this race.
yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that the two favourites, Private Eye and Evaporate, they may end up being second and third in the run, just by default, really.
Mm.
Yeah, well, they're probably in the top 4 in terms of early speed.
Yeah,
Not that they are ridden a variety of ways. Certainly, Evaporate has tactical speed, and Private Eye is often ridden forward and often ridden off the speed. So, but certainly with the leader in 12, you'd imagine that it assesses the situation and sees what it has to do. Uh, so in terms of this race was won by Gentleman Roy last year, sitting outside the speed. The track obviously was a bit firmer on that occasion. Roy, what's the starting point in the feature?
yeah. Look, I can't get away from the two favourites in the end. Here to shock losing Nash, I thought was a little bit of a negative, so probably I can see that it'll get the cheap lead and all that sort of thing, and it'll run a great race. But I think you're back to Private Eye or Evaporate. Evaporate looks wound up. It's won a couple of jump outs very strongly. Um, in terms of maybe who might get the best run, maybe it might be Evaporate just with the softer draw and um, yeah,
If this was a handicap, how much weight would Private Eye be giving Evaporate?
yeah, that's
Like it's won 11 million.
He's
Private
giving
Eye.
him a lot of age, I can tell you that.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
probably a fair statement.
but would
Uh,
you back Evaporate to run second in a Stradbroke? It might be like that's his last run. That's the last run or third. That's the last run you've got to go off.
Yep, yep. No, that's a fair point. And the way that he produced his best performance, Evaporate, is a very sort of um, perfect ride by Shin that day. The way he
Hmm.
just tucked in behind the leader there, and the second horse, Swift Falcon, was standing it up a lot of start. And
Yeah, it was in a different postcode, I think is the
yeah,
term
that's
you like to
correct.
use.
Yeah. Look, the fact that they're both first up is a bit tricky. Um, I don't think there's a lot between the two of them, and I'll probably just sort of take it easy in this race. I think the market's got it right.
All right, Kev, is there something that we could
Oh,
uncover in this race?
I'm going to be back in Private Eye. I just because he's just so thrown in. Like I don't mind Seapals and Moira as two. There was really good money for Moira in the Doncaster,
Yeah, there was.
and Seapals ran really well on the Australian Guineas, and his form leading up to that was excellent as well. So I've got a bit of an opinion of that horse. But then I go back to Private Eyes giving Seapals half a kilo. And that just turns me around instantly. So I like Private Eye. I've liked him last week if he'd run in Sydney, and I'll definitely be I'll be on him on Saturday for sure.
All right. Well, of course, subscribers will be getting updated in the Slack channel that belongs to the Melbourne Pro Punter service. And if you haven't tried Roy's service, you get prices and updates for Saturday Metropolitan meetings, plus the odd tidbit here and there. And it is first 2 weeks free of charge so that you get an idea of what the service is all about. So click on the eye in the top right-hand corner there if you want to avail yourself of that. You will need to be a subscriber to get Roy's prices and updates. So we're sitting here on Thursday lunchtime. Come Saturday lunchtime, you'll need to be making firm decisions, and you'll need to be part of that service. If you are a subscriber, you get a discount of $7 per week, which is half your silver sub. Right, the nightcap is race 9. It's a benchmark 100. It's over the mile. And there's only one horse that stands out in the betting here. It's the horse with that big, long picket fence, Revelare, $4.80, resuming, obviously. The speed, it is... look, I've got Running By and Golden Path. That doesn't feel that right. Obviously, El Rocco made all 3 weeks ago here at this course and distance, and I imagine it will be trying the same tactics. What do you reckon, Roy?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think it's another race lacking a bit of tempo. Miss Tarzi, Barrier 1 will be kicking up. El Rocco certainly be sent forward again. You know, the tactics worked last time. That's kind of it, isn't it? I mean, there's a couple of others there running by, but
Yeah, it's a gentle mile, isn't it?
yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's not a lot doing.
Kings Valley from Barrier 11 might come across.
Yep.
Might come across and sit outside the leader.
To get fit, is it? Because obviously it's resuming, so you're never sure of the intentions there.
No, you're not. But it has raced up on the speed before and done some good races up on the speed. But Barrier 11 is either going to sit outside the leader or it's going to go back to last. So,
Yep.
I'm thinking Jamie Mellon's more a sit up outside the leader jockey.
Roy, we've seen, well, bar the resuming favourite here, we've seen a lot of these horses over the last few weeks. So
Amen. Yeah.
they've been playing pinball with each other, shall we say?
Yeah.
Where does Revelare get in the run, drawn Barrier 2? Often maybe not a fast pace.
Look, it mightn't be too far away. If it had a jockey on, you'd be declaring this. I mean, it's a better horse than these. It's just the jockey that's probably, you're
Well,
slight.
he's glued to it, isn't he?
He's tied to it. He's ridden it many times for wins, but there's nothing doing here except for maybe the other horse who did the right thing by us last time, too darn discreet. It's probably going to be back and wide, so it's got a few map issues, but it's a great win at Flemington. There's nothing wrong with it, but look, Revelare is the one to beat for sure here, isn't it? I mean, there's just not much.
Yeah, so you're basically saying, okay, what price am I prepared to take, given this rider is not a rider that instills confidence in you?
Yeah.
The horse obviously has some serious creds. So we'll have to wait and see on that one, won't we, Roy? We'll be waiting with bated breath on Saturday morning to see your assessed price.
I think I'd definitely be having it under the $4 at the moment. I mean, there's just not a lot doing here. Like, I mean, where are you going to go? Like, they've all had plenty of chances here.
Kev, you with the favourite, or you
I really like the favourite as far as like it as a horse, but I know that they are setting it for a Melbourne Cup or trying to get in the Melbourne Cup. And it's in a benchmark 100 over 1600 first up. Last time he drew an inside barrier hurdle, got lost on it, and only just managed to get himself out of trouble. So I do like the horse, but I'm just not sure if I'd want to be backing it tomorrow over 1600 drawn barrier 2. So and look, trying to find something to beat it was even harder. So it'd be a no bet race for me, and I'll just sit and watch. But yeah, I think Revelare. I agree with Roy. Revelare is by far the best horse in the race. I'm just not sure if this is a good race for it.
Go on.
I was just going to make the point too. The last two preparations has been first up over 1400 Revelare, and this time they've gone to the 16. So to me, that's a good sign that he's probably put a bit of work into it, maybe.
Well weighted with 54 kilos.
Yeah, well, I mean, last time in, it just kept,
Kept winning.
the line, didn't it? And yeah, it looks very hard to beat off. Would have thought, but
Golden
again,
Path, what are we expecting from him? Because obviously he somehow made it to the A grade through the end of two preparations ago, and then obviously just went through the motions there last preparation. It does, it resumes in a race where they could easily have some intent about this particular situation.
yeah, it's a good horse. I mean, it goes forward. 2 lengths to Via Sistina is great, isn't it? It's got to be in the mix. Terrible map. I'm not quite sure what they're going to do there from the wide draw, the apprentice, big weight. Yeah.
All right.
I don't mind. I don't mind
yeah,
Detonator Jack as a horse, but I've got a bit of a theory that maybe he goes better in Sydney. Seems to go better the Sydney way of going than the Melbourne way of going. All his best runs have been there. He's certainly at $15. I think he started $8 or $10 in a Doncaster and an Epsom, and it's $15 in this race. But I probably need to see him do a bit.
Blinkers back on there, but I wonder if he's developed a few. Well, he's decided that he's a bit of a fox. Anyway, it's a worthwhile suggestion, Kev.
Yep.
As I say, if you want to be part of the Melbourne Pro Punter service, the first 2 weeks are free, and you'll get in that channel where you'll be able to ask our expert here any manner of things. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Kev, and thanks, Roy. If you want to watch part 1, you need to be a subscriber, and you will find that in the Melbourne Pro Punter channel. So, good luck on Saturday. Caulfield looks good. On as far as Rosehill is concerned, Kev, myself, and Glenn will be previewing that for subscribers tomorrow. So hopefully see you there as well. Good luck, guys.
Thanks, Kev. Thanks, Mark.
No.